Oh, I love this. Oh my god.
Fantastic. Today we are
Excuse me.
reacting to everyone coughing. Is this ITZY?
Itsy bitsy bits 8 bits. Oh. Itsy 8-bit spider. All right, keep going.
You know, in these games, especially like Legend of Zelda, there's like a life meter. It's like a heart and it's like an 8-bit and the spider jumps on you and you lose one.
Sounds like you're talking from personal experience.
Yeah.
This is their B-side track called 8-Bit Heart off of their most recent Tunnel Vision EP. The lyrics for this song describe escaping a frustrating reality by entering a game-like world where emotions can be reset, upgraded, and rebooted.
That seems good. I don't know.
Okay. The song is composed by Zissou, Heffy Beluga, Ronnie Svensson, Lucky Lou, and BB Elliott. So you guys say that if a song does what the message intends, it makes you appreciate it more.
You liked it? I thought you hated it.
But I also have been sending reactors into this song without the script at all.
What?
All right, do we want a summary or should we go in blind?
Blind.
I think 8-Bit Heart. That gives you enough context for the wild ride you're about to go on.
Okay, awesome.
Have fun!
Alrighty.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, bit crushed audio there. Up.
Nice. Fun riff.
It's very video game.
I love the re with the clawing the ground.
Those weren't words.
Nice. Character change in the chords.
Oh my god. What the f?
It's interesting how they go from such an open texture to something super...
Yeah, it's so dense.
Yeah, dense, like immediately.
I love how this is such an accurate representation of crashing out for real. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Is that a train?
I think so, yeah.
I like trains.
Whoa.
The hyperpop is in. Hyperpop is in town.
I don't know how to react. It's a react channel. It's technically halftime, but it still feels like it's driving just as much as a comment time was.
What?
Oh my! Oh my! Uplit over the bar.
I like where the vocals are in that. It's like a little grainy.
Okay.
You ready for that auto tune?
I'm getting it.
I love these sections where it returns into like the gravelly bass.
Yes. I like the contrast between like the sort of more bare waveforms and then like the super detailed bass that's like really modern in its production.
Oh, I love this. Oh my god.
The visuals are still crazy. Like every time the eyes do the thing,
Yeah.
it's always synchronized with something in the music. The 8-bit.
Whoa! Why are we even drum
Prog rock, it suddenly becomes prog.
Oh wow. Kelly Clarkson?
That's crazy. That's offended.
That's a good ad-lib to put in there.
What the heck was that,
I've lost the plot.
Honk honk.
Like they're just like throwing as much as they can in there.
Actually, that made me cry cry, actually. You know what I was thinking? I was like, this is the epitome of K-pop right here.
Yes.
I was really appreciating that, to be honest. I like the unique, weird vibes of K-pop. That's why I like started like getting into it, you know?
This is sick
That
as
was fun.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I
really like that
quite
actually.
love that. Yeah.
I know sometimes we're like, oh my god, this song is filled with so many different textures. But this was like, they were on to something when they made this song.
Over time, it starts getting like stranger and stranger and starts getting to this sort of, a term I have used with myself is just high effort shitpost. You have a concept that's kind of a joke and kind of dumb, but you're also putting a lot of effort into the execution of it.
It also has a ton of groove. Although it's like a shitpost, it's like still, there's a nice vibe to it.
Yeah, this is something I wouldn't expect from ITZY, I think.
I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, this isn't super unexpected. I'm like, they're starting to lean towards that with gold.
I think ITZY were pretty experimental early on. It's just like what they did early on became normal. Icy was a wild track in 2019. It would not be such a wild track in 2025, but that's because lots of people learned from it. That is the nature of a genre that moves quickly like K-pop. Is what is groundbreaking one year can become pretty normal a few years later.
I felt like I was being hit by the train that was in the song a million times. I was like, okay, that was a little much for me. They took out the sizzle for a second and I was like, oh, but maybe we're going somewhere else. Added it back in like full force. If the full sizzle potential was only there for like, I don't know, the chorus, I think I could be convinced.
She just hates texture.
No, I love texture, but
this is texture.
I'm offended!
My only critique, I needed more car horns.
More car horn?
There were not enough in there.
More car horn?
I need more. Hey, I would even say a semi-horn.
I feel like without analyzing it, I would always forget about the car sound until I'm listening to it the next time. I'll go, oh yeah, that's there. Huh. And the next time I'll forget about it again. But I like that it's there. I think it's cool.
It brings you out of like this electronic musical world that we were put into because there are all these like real life interrupting sounds.
Honor and I had a bet about the car horn and you guys.
When you show this to them, I'm curious if they're gonna like come back and be like, what the f was that?
Someone's gonna
and then
love
keep
this
repeat
song.
and then like repeat it like crazy. The beep 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 beep. And they're gonna be like, what is that? And then they'll be like,
My bet is that they're gonna get it immediately.
Oh no, it was triplets.
That's what I said, and she said, no, it isn't.
All right, well we'll double check for you.
Okay, fine. The first two are eighth notes. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. It's 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably the closest.
Da 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 da.
She won, because her guess was that you're gonna have to take multiple listens to try and figure out.
Well, like we got the triplet part at the end.
True.
Like,
Maybe we
immediately.
both won. Maybe it was a tie.
I think you both won.
Yeah. Because you asked us to break it down.
I think
so.
you won because
True.
you weren't preying on our f***ing downfall. On the hell.
Now I think that worked really well, but why? Well, this is because this wasn't random.
Was it not random?
It worked.
There was cars honking at us.
Yes. That's fine.
During the song.
That's okay. There's a bigger picture here. I know there is.
Yeah.
So we're electronic the whole time, and then we're human in the bridge there. Okay, we're human in the bridge, right? There's our heart, but it's like, nah, we're going back to our phones or whatever, right? At the end, right?
So the lyrics describe an NPC who is in relationship with, of course, the person who's playing the video game. But then suddenly the guy brings his girlfriend to play the video game. So she's like, what the fuck? You have a girlfriend? I'm offended. And she starts to feel emotions. She's offended, like, oh, you're just playing me. You have a real girlfriend? I'm your girlfriend.
Okay, so then what's the bridge?
Yeah, what is that?
What's going on there?
When they break out to that, like, what I would call like a progressive rock section, it feels like a culmination of everything that happened before. This is one of those cases where I just wish the song could have, like, I don't know, deviated from like a traditional song structure and just kept the rock section. Maybe bring a little bit of that 8-bit back, but not like so jarringly like cut us right back into it. I feel like with this one, it would have made a lot of sense to just end with the rock section.
I think the reason why we had the rug pulled out so quickly from under us is because the concept of this song is someone is disrupting their peace, prompting them to shut down emotionally like an 8-bit system. So their heart keeps getting reloaded. So I think they were breaking free, they were feeling things, and then they got reloaded.
Whoa, wait a minute. They might be onto something.
That's f***ing awesome. That's sick. That makes so much sense. Like resetting every so often, because like every single chorus would be like a complete like.
I guess it just goes into compound time.
What? You're feeling it? I was still feeling it in 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
1 and 4 and 3 and 4, and that's way easier.
Yeah, just because of the synth.
Damn it. Yeah. Can you cut that out of the video? No, I'm just kidding. You embarrass me.
The texture is like really open here. Like they introduced this section with like the synth stuff, right? So that's like, you can feel that in 4. But when like the guitar and like the drums and everything come in, there's not much subdivision in between those. So the time kind of gets lost if you're not like constantly thinking of it. But the whole time it is in 4.
That's why I thought it was in compound, because it's the da da da. It's just, that's all that's being emphasized by every instrument.
What were some of the standout moments for you guys?
I think like the ability to switch the vibes up so like seamlessly, and so like that bridge into the last bit was so cool. I just loved it. It's like really spacious, like out of body feeling there, because it's just so silent, because there's been so much happening.
Yes.
Something I tell students a lot, this concept yet, but silence is music too. When used effectively, it's so powerful. We can really make some really incredible sections that help us feel the music more powerfully.
Like the continuity in this song was actually really well done for a song that is supposed to sound like there is none, which is kind of an impressive feat.
This song is like the call-outs before the textural change happens. It's a very interesting way of transitioning from section to section, is that she's literally calling out, something is gonna change, or I'm gonna go now, and then she's like done. Very cool.
There's just a lot of different sounds, and there was a ton of variety, and it was sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Calculating. He's loaded.
Impressionism. I think with this, it's sort of that idea where like bigger picture, like same groove, same like genre there's like every repeat, there was like something different to like latch onto, to listen to. So I just felt like my ears and brain and mind were stimulated the entire time. And it's just, so the entire time it just kept pulling me in.
Oh, that's so nice. That's such a good feeling. Can you play that arpeggio that fast? No,
that's done using an arpeggiator.
Oh, yeah.
So you play the whole chord and then it goes. And the chord progression there is like, it's probably D flat major 7, D flat minor 7, and then I think the next one is A flat over C.
This is a good use of auto-tone also.
Yeah, it quirkifies the top line to match the quirkiness of the track.
I would love to listen to this in like a car. Like especially all those basses.
It sounds like it's already going through a
like it does.
subwoofer.
It does.
Could be what they're doing with the bass is doing like low A flat below a piano. Generally, you don't put a sub down there. Sub being just like the lowest bass frequency. Most speakers don't do much below 30 hertz. That's around the lowest C on a piano. There's a decent chance a lot of speakers just won't actually produce that note. If I were to try to reconstruct the bass, the first thing I would try is just like low D flat, like Serum's wide noise, Serum or Pigments, and then FM the 2, put on some like asymmetric distortion, and then scoop out the middle so it's mostly sub and highs. That'd be my first steps.
Fantastic. I'm nodding as if I completely understand.
But my ear was drawn to the 8-bit sound that they used throughout the entire thing. And what I loved about that 8-bit sound is that they had it through a harmonizer. Like if I play like a major chord like this, it almost implies like a bass note that contains all of those pitches in its harmonic series. Like for example, so if I was playing like this, maybe this pitch is like secretly a part of that sound. A lot of times, the 8-bit was like atonal as heck, you know? Like it wasn't really doing anything. The point isn't that the fact that these are all major chords. The point is that they're like all moving together, and so it sounds like it's like one single voice moving around.
Let's talk about the chord progression. Let's talk about the top lining. When I switched between listening to where we were chord-wise and what the top line was doing, it felt like they existed in two completely different spaces.
D flat major, basically the entire time. A lot of sevens, and that like weird, the E is like the seventh on like the...
I also really appreciate how loosely the tonic was used. It was used, and it was a lot more percussive and sound-based rather than tonality. The singing melody is all in D flat major, but then all the chords are kind of based around it. That was in C minor.
And the bass is D flat.
Yeah.
As I was listening to it for the first time, like the notes that you ended up singing or they ended up auto-tuning kind of clashes with the bass line, so it feels like a little bit removed.
I wanted it to be fully wrong, every note.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love that they kept it and they weren't trying to like fix it.
I love when they like respect the magic of the song. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy and it's like wrong in the right ways.
The phrase people say for this is repetition legitimizes, but I feel like it is something because they commit to it, it works.
I think on a musical level, I'm not like super duper duper floored, but I like a lot of the production stuff.
The production
a lot. It's got some good stuff going on.
Because I have exposure to the genre, I feel like I can always be like just one step behind as opposed to like a whole mile behind. So I wouldn't know how to describe the experience of like how the song would affect someone who's totally uninitiated.
A lot of the textural things that they're doing is like something that I'm like largely unfamiliar with. But like the reasons for doing them and like how I'm interpreting them like feels kind of familiar in that way.
Business, hey, what are you doing?
PhD dissertation idea. Relate ITZY'S 8-bit heart to the harmonic passions of Baroque performance practice in the 18th century. I bet you could do it. It's all about representing like the, I don't know, it's like the 7 or the 9 different passions of human emotion like in one piece, right? And that's what you get in each phrase. But we're getting I think a really good imagery painting of that in this song. ITZY inspired by Bach, you heard it here first.
This song has brought me so much joy. Thank you for the A&R, for giving this song a chance, for allowing this to be published.
Yes.
Because I know there are a bunch of other songwriters out there who've written stuff like this and they're like, this is never gonna get cut, but it does.
F you, bitch. So it's literally that.
I mean, that's basically what the 8-bit art became.
That's the very end, right?
ABCDEFG. I have to go.
What the heck is ABCDEFG?